My girlfriend told me she was freezing her eggs because she wasn't sure I was father material. I calmly said, "That's smart planning." Then I scheduled a vasectomy consultation. When the doctor's office accidentally called while she was sitting right beside me, her confidence vanished instantly, and I know that sounds like clickbait, but I swear every word of this actually happened, and I'm still processing how fast a 4-year relationship can implode when you stop reacting emotionally and instead just take someone at their word. I'm Mark, 33. And until recently, I thought my life was pretty normal. Decent job in software QA, small but growing savings, steady routine, girlfriend named Lauren who I'd been with since my late 20s. We moved in together about a year ago into a 2-bedroom apartment I mostly paid for because she was building her brand, an online wellness coaching thing that mostly consisted of Instagram posts and a few Venmo payments from friends. But I didn't mind at the time because I loved her and believed relationships were about supporting each other through different seasons. Tuesday night was takeout night for us, orange chicken and lo mein spread across the coffee table, some mindless Netflix on in the background. And she dropped it the way people drop things when they've already rehearsed a speech in their head. She said she booked an appointment to freeze her eggs next month. Said it casually like she was talking about getting her oil changed. I paused the show and asked why now. She sighed like I was being dense and said she was almost 30 and didn't want to gamble with her fertility while she figured out if I'd ever be ready to be a father. She used the phrase father material like it was a technical term, like she'd read it in a pamphlet. And she kept going, saying I was a great boyfriend, loving, reliable, supportive, but kids were permanent and she couldn't risk that kind of commitment with someone who might not grow into role fast enough. I remember staring at the carton of rice while my stomach dropped because what she was really saying wasn't about kids at all. It was that she was planning a future where I was optional. And then she casually mentioned the cost, nearly $8,000, and said she just put on the credit card I'd added her to last year for emergencies and groceries. Called it an investment in her future, our future maybe. But the words didn't line up. My chest felt tight, but I didn't yell or cry or argue. I just nodded and said that made sense, that it was smart planning, that her body was her choice. She looked genuinely relieved, even smiled, thanked me for being so mature. Went back to scrolling through clinic reviews while texting her sister about how supportive I was being. And something inside me just clicked into place. Not anger exactly, more clarity. Because if I wasn't good enough to plan a family with, then I wasn't going to keep acting like one was inevitable. So while she was distracted, I quietly pulled out my phone and Googled vasectomy clinics near me, found one with great reviews, saw they had an online booking system, and booked a consultation for 2 days later. It felt surreal how easy it was. Confirmation text popped up immediately, Thursday at 3 p.m., and I put my phone away like nothing had happened. That night, while she slept on the couch, I sat in what used to be my home office before it became her storage room for yoga mats and supplements, and stared at that confirmation message. Not father material. Message received. Thursday came. I told her I had a client meeting, which wasn't unusual, drove to the clinic, sat in a waiting room that smelled like antiseptic and old magazines. Dr. Miller was calm and professional. Asked the standard questions. Why I wanted the procedure. If I was sure, I told him I decided kids weren't for me. He noted my age and asked if I was in a relationship. I said yes. He asked if my partner knew, and I said she knew I was here, which was technically true. I explained the situation, that she was freezing her eggs because she wasn't sure I was father material and wanted to keep her options open. So I was doing the same in my own way. He paused for a second, studied me, then nodded and said autonomy works both ways, explained the procedure, the permanence, the timeline, and said we could schedule for following Wednesday. That's when my phone rang, Lauren's name on the screen. I declined it. She called again immediately. I stepped into the hallway and answered. She was suspicious, asking why I was being weird, what kind of meeting I was at. I kept my voice calm, said I'd call her later, and went back and scheduled the surgery. Insurance covered most of it, $1,200 out of pocket, which felt ironic given the charge she just put on my card. I drove home, and the tension was thick. She grilled me about my meeting, accused me of being sketchy, and something snapped, not loudly but firmly. I told her exactly how sketchy it felt to be told I wasn't father material while being charged thousands of dollars to preserve her fertility for some hypothetical better man. She got defensive, said I was making about me, stormed out to her sister's place, And that night, I started documenting everything, screenshots, statements, messages, because some instinct told me I was going to need receipts. Monday morning, the clinic called to confirm my surgery, and Lauren was right there in the kitchen, hair wet, coffee brewing. The words vasectomy procedure hung in the air like a grenade. She lost it, accused me of punishing her, of being spiteful, of making a permanent decision out of anger. I calmly pointed out that she'd done the same thing. She just didn't like that my choice didn't benefit her. She left again, this time for her mom's. Texts started pouring and called me unreasonable, childish, vindictive. I didn't respond. That evening, her sister blocked my parking spot and confronted me, demanding explanations, repeating Lauren's talking points, calling it responsible planning. I asked her to explain how charging my car without permission fit into that. She couldn't put Lauren on speaker. Lauren demanded I cancel the appointment. Said we needed to talk. I asked her one simple question. If she met someone she thought was father material, would she stay with me? Silence answered louder than words. Her sister moved her car. Wednesday came, day of the surgery, and it escalated in ways I never could have predicted. Lauren and her mom showed up at the clinic trying to argue. I wasn't mentally competent to consent. The staff escorted them out. Dr. Miller reassured me. The procedure took 20 minutes. My friend Jason drove me home, and when we walked into my apartment, Lauren, her mom, and her sister were sitting on my couch like they owned the place. I told them to leave, pointed out Lauren wasn't on the lease and had moved out. Her mom threatened me, said I'd regret this. I told her if Lauren was the best thing that ever happened to me, then my life had been pretty sad. They left. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages from her friends and family calling me abusive, psychotic, cruel. My landlord texted to let me know Lauren had tried to get a spare key. I told him she'd moved out. Then the lawyer letter arrived, a demand for money, access, damages, all nonsense. My lawyer friend laughed it off, told me to ignore it. Then Lauren took it to social media, posted a long dramatic essay painting herself as a victim of emotional abuse. Tag me, tag mutuals. Even tagged my boss. My brother commented with screenshots and facts. The narrative flipped almost instantly. She deleted the post, but the damage was done. Threats followed. Her dad called and threatened to come over. I documented everything and called non-emergency police. Her lawyer tried to negotiate. I refused. Weeks passed. Nothing materialized. Mutual friends took sides. Life slowly quieted until a guy she was dating messaged me asking if what he'd seen was real. I sent him the receipts. He blocked her. Apparently the egg freezing never even happened. She canceled it and kept the money until I disputed the charge and got it back. She moved home. Her business fizzled. And then the real irony, her mom messaged me asking if we could work things out. I blocked her because by then I was done, not angry, not bitter. Just finished being someone's backup plan. Recovery sucked, but I healed. Moved into a smaller place in my own name. Adopted an old shelter dog named Hank who snores louder than any human I've met. Started dating again, upfront about being child-free. And for the first time in a long time, my life feels quiet in the best way. No surprise charges. No. Conditional love. No one telling me I'm not enough while living off my stability. I don't regret the vasectomy. Not for a second. Because it wasn't about revenge. It was about alignment. She told me who she thought I was. And instead of arguing, I believed her and acted accordingly. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop trying to convince someone of your worth and just remove yourself from the equation entirely. I wasn't father material. Fine. I wasn't her future. Also fine. Because now I'm finally living mine on my own terms.